So I wanted to give an update video because it's been about 2 or 3 weeks or so. I believe in the last video I had mentioned that it took a while to fight to get back into college after 17 to 20 years or so. And classes have gone underway. We're starting our 5th week in a couple of days. I've been trying my best to keep up with my homework and making sure that I'm not getting inundated with too much, which is so far working pretty damn well. Um, the first class of my week typically is on Tuesdays, my second one on Thursdays, and I've got an online class. It's been awesome. This past Tuesday, for about an hour to an hour and a half, I was actually helming the class with teaching students about templates and how you can use those as a means for writing and mixing, mastering, all that kind of stuff, along with the class instructor offering a couple of criticisms here and there, or at least personal or professional input, which was awesome, the way I see it. Uh, Past that, I'm basically sitting in a classroom on Thursdays going over the same stuff that I've more or less known for about 27 years of doing music. But it's good because it just makes the work easier. But on top of that, in the event if there's a need to, I can become sort of like an assistant in the class, maybe if things permit it or if it's required. But I'm not trying to put myself out there too much. My online class is pretty straightforward and simple. A lot of the stuff we actually went over in high school, and it's starting to kind of flood back a little bit. And I'm expecting possibly in the next 3 months, give or take, that I'll be integrating notation software into my workflow, or at least the notation side of whatever DAW that I choose to land on, as much as I'm still kind of up in the air about what direction I want to go. Other than that, yeah, it has been awesome. The bonus benefit of being back in college now at this point has been the fact that just recently getting my financial aid refund check and being able to also get a trade-in discount for my current Mac that I've been using for 2 years, all is added up to about like 60% of the total cost of getting a Mac Studio instead. As much as I would have probably preferred waiting until this summer to see what is coming out for the M4 series, I just can't really wait too long. It's not like an impatience thing, it's more of a necessity that I want to get to work on a bunch of stuff. And I've been doing a lot of workarounds trying to get something done, and the limitations are sort of detracting from that grind that you put in. Like if you're on like a laptop that had a quad core processor in it but only 16 gigs of RAM and like a copy of Windows 7 or Windows 10 or whatever, uh, you would have the ability to do a certain amount of work, but at a certain point you just cap out. And then it's just like, well, what do I do in order to continue doing this or whatever? That's pretty much what it's felt like with this machine, though it's been able to offer me the chance to still keep doing things and being creative and uh, being able to plug stuff in and uh, keep the rust off my fingers as far as keyboard is concerned, or even guitar for that matter. There's a couple of things that I'm hoping with this Mac Studio that's coming in, that my latency issues will be resolved for audio input, and maybe I'll get lucky enough to start branching out with a couple of different things in mind. But I do believe with what I've got customed into this machine, I'll be back on a massive enough workflow that throughout this year, between homework sessions and a couple of other things that I'll be working on going full bore with a couple of EPs, whether or not if it's based around like the 80s aesthetic or if it's like death metal, industrial, or getting back into the film score metal kind of stuff that I was doing a decade ago. I'm not sure what direction I'm going to go exactly, but I'll be afforded that additional processing power and the memory for implementing more or less what I want to get done. And I do want to catch up on everything that I've got going on. So that's kind of like the gist of things right now. As soon as that computer comes in, I do want to test a couple of things for video related purposes, as well as see what I can do with DAW of choice. And if it works in favor, I will be really heavy duty into my work while trying to juggle college. So far, at the least, like I say, I can't complain. I've been participating enough to the point where I'm probably scoring A's like across the entire board. Maybe by the end of the term, I'll slip in one class because of a couple of misfires or wrong answers in terms of online quiz stuff, but I'm heavily focused on it and it's paying off so far so well. I can't really say or speak much to the future as far as college is concerned. I am working on just maintaining my grades where they're at right now and continuing to try to put myself where I need to be at, just to learn exactly what's being shared in the classroom, or at least with the online program, and just kind of keeping my head down the rest of the time. It's not a bad deal. It was actually, this has been the biggest payoff after playing a sick joke on myself, more or less, like 8 months ago, and deciding, okay, well, if there's some sort of like ray of sun cutting through like the darkest clouds, might as well like try chasing it and see if I can actually stand in it, right? But I ended up doing that, and it's just paying off. So here we are several months later, and classes are well. My tech's getting upgraded massively in a couple of weeks, and I have plans. I have big plans for a lot of things. So we'll see where it goes. In the meantime, though, yeah, I'm gonna just upload this video and get back to my college homework. One of the fun things about it, making sure I'm not showing an address or anything like that on this piece of paper I'm using as far as a bookmark for the time being or whatever, but I'm digitizing this book, which is called The Craft of Controlling Sound, and I think it was in print in 2004. So it's kind of like a really old book, but there's quite a few things that so far in the first 2 chapters that I've read, it's been fascinating because it kind of covers a lot of what I taught myself over the years, but it's also connecting dots where there was misinformation or discrepancies of like a belief in regards to the 3 elements that it teaches, which is acoustic, analog, and digital. And I've mostly lived in digital, so being able to kind of like bridge the gaps is starting to like really unlock a lot, and I'm gonna be very happy that I can actually use this in the future. So yeah, that's more or less the update that I can offer for now, and try to just, whatever. It's almost 8 o'clock, so I might as well get to my homework time. I definitely hope for one that y'all are doing as good as you can out there and staying safe, doing whatever is making the money for you, or at least is bringing you a sense of happiness or fulfillment, whatever it basically is. But I've been putting in my time on this end, and things are finally paying off, and I'm happy about it. So I'm going to continue to put on that grind. I've got another term before the summer, take the break, and then resume next year, do what I need to do to get all the credits and either cap off at certification level, or if the program that I'm in decides to expand or at least gets approved to be expanded, I'll be jumping at that associate's degree and saying screw it, like the sky's the limit. So we'll see where it goes, but in the meantime, I'm taking off and I'll see you again in about probably 3 weeks, give or take, about like a week or two after I get this computer. So you take her easy.